Hey guys, Mr. Johns here, and today we're going to be talking about leading lines and how to use leading lines to create awesome photos. So let's go ahead and get started. Cool thing about leading lines is that you can find them almost anywhere. In fact, I'm using them right now. Do you see this over here? See these lines on the side of my house? I'm using those lines to point directly at me, and that's working really, really well. So first thing you need to know about leading lines is that leading lines are everywhere if you just look for them. And one of the best ways to turn something into leading lines is to just get the camera close to them. You can see if I'm just looking at this wall right here, let me switch this around actually. I'm just looking at this wall. I don't really have leading lines, right? But as soon as I come and bring the camera over close to it, well, look at that. Now, all of a sudden, I definitely have some leading lines. And good leading lines start outside of your frame. So they start out here and they come in and then they lead to something interesting, whether it's a door or an attractive man. Either way, you want to have those leading lines leading to something interesting. So we just talked about three really important concepts of leading lines. One, that you can find them everywhere, and the best way to emphasize them is by getting the camera close to them. Two, they should start outside of your frame and lead into it. And three, they need to lead to an interesting subject. So let's look at some more examples. Just wanted to show you real quick a few examples of how leading lines can be anywhere. You see a sidewalk can be leading lines. Here it is with my camera up high or my camera down low. Look at those cool leading lines. All we need now is something cool for them to lead to. Your car can be leading lines. Look at that. That's a cool shot right there. I like that. A tree can be leading lines. Love this shot right here. Your arm can be leading lines. This is not such a great photo right here, but look at my arm. Nice leading line. Your stairs can be leading lines. The walls and hallways in your house can be leading lines. Your deck can be leading lines. Your pool slide can be leading lines. Your fence can be leading lines. All right, I think you get the idea. You can find leading lines just about anywhere if you're willing to position your camera correctly. For a lot of those photos, I had to lay down on the ground or get right up against a wall. And that's how we find leading lines. We just look for them and then we position the camera appropriately. But remember, our lines still need to lead to an interesting subject, and that's what we're going to talk about next. All right, so here's another really cool way we can get leading lines. I'm down here at the park. I got my great model, my niece, Hannah Johnson. She's over there. There she is. She was a Chihuahua. She's a senior. She got a boyfriend, though. No ideas, all right? All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the camera down really low so I can really emphasize the lines, and then we're gonna have those lines lead right to Hannah, because good leading lines start outside of the frame and always lead right to our subject. So let's try that and see how it goes. So you see, I've got my camera right over this yellow line in the road so that that line comes right from out of the frame, right to the bottom, and leads right to our model. And I've got her posed right over the top of it so that that line takes us right to her. Let's see how that looks. All right, Hannah, turn your face this way a little bit. Yeah, keep all that weight on that right foot there. Yep, perfect, right there. Good smile. And perfect. Those lines look amazing. They start outside of the frame. They lead us right to our model, and that's exactly what we want. Good leading lines lead to an excellent subject. All right, so there you go, guys. Leading lines, interesting subjects. Remember, an interesting subject can be anything. An interesting subject can be the sky, or a cool sunset, or a mountain, or a tire on your car, or a person. An interesting subject can be whatever you want it to be, because if you think it's interesting, then it's interesting, right? So go out, find some leading lines, find straight leading lines, find curved leading lines, find natural leading lines, find diagonal leading lines, find leading lines that lead to cool things, and take pictures of them. Remember, use the rule of thirds too when you're doing this, you guys. You absolutely should be thinking rule of thirds. Your leading line should start on one rule of thirds and your subject should be on another one. Like you're seeing right here, right now. See my leading lines start outside of the frame over here. They come this way into the photo. And then my face is right here on the other rule of third spot. Ooh, look at that right there. Dang! That's beautiful right there. Beautiful. So pay attention to your lighting. Pay attention to your rule of thirds and your composition. And get those leading line photos, and they're going to be awesome.